Hello, I am Angela, and I'm going to show you how I make my yarn tails. We are going to make a yarn tail like these, soft and fluffy, or this one, which as you can see isn't done yet. So, first, materials. What we're going to need is scissors, brushes. The kind of brushes I use are this wire thin pet hair brush that I got from the dollar store, and a boar hair brush, or a fancy pet brush like the ones with the wires instead of not like these. I don't find these very useful. Um, you also need a straightener on low temperature. I don't know what temperature mine's at, but it goes up to 400. I have it like on 150, really low, or because it'll melt the yarn. That's the other thing you'll need, yarn. So first I'll show you how to make a base. This is a base for the tail that I want to make for myself. It's a braid, and depending on the color that you're going to make the bottom of the tail, you can cut it and brush it out, or you can leave it, not cut it, and just braid it with the loops. Because I'll show you how to make it. It's got loops at the end, and you cut them and tie it off. So to make the base, it's pretty simple. You just however long you want it, and then what I do is I go back and forth and back and forth until it's the thickness I want. And then you'll see there's loops on the end. So for the end, I cut them, braid them, I hook like a carabiner to the top loops so that it all stays on real nice. So you cut these, you braid it together, you tie it off at the end, however you want, and that's basically how you make a base. It's really simple. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. So you'll end up with a big braid or a small braid, either one. Small braids, you have to do more work to make it look smooth. I didn't know that at the time of making this one. That's why it's a little bit choppy looking, because I did too big of bundles for the braid that I had made, because it's a really small, little tiny black braid with big bundles of fur on it. So how to make bundles and make the actual fur for the tip. We're going to need whatever color of yarn you want for the fur, and we make them into little knots, which I'll show you how to do, obviously. And so what I do is I take it and for normal width, which is like 4 inches, spread my fingers, wrap it around my fingers like 10 times for a base this big. For a base this big, I did about 6. And you can do as few as you want, but with 6 you have to make more bundles to fill out the whole tail. So that's why I like using big bases. It also makes the tail thicker, less work, but it's still a lot of work. So you do 10 or whatever number, you cut it at the top, so then you have long pieces, and you tie it in the middle. Pretty simple. Try and get the knot as in the middle as possible. And then what I do is I take 2 pieces of the yarn and hold on to them, because these are how you're going to connect it to the base later. And then I take this brush, a thin metal one, and brush it out. Just, it doesn't get it fluffy, it gets it stringy. Like this. Kind of looks like spaghetti. And then I take my boar hair brush and brush out the stringy parts. And that makes it look fluffy, like this one. It's like a little ball of lint. And that's where the straightener comes in. You just straighten it until it looks smooth enough for you. I like to brush it in between straightening it just to keep it nice and straight so that it looks good. And then you just straighten it. And since it's on a low temperature, you have to straighten it quite a bit, because if it's on too high, it'll make the hair get all weird and stringy. You don't want that. It looks bad. So once you're done straightening it, it'll be really flat and weird looking, but it'll be soft and a lot prettier than it was before. And then with the base, I haven't brushed out this and straightened this part yet, but just pretend I have. So with the base, you take these two pieces of string that you kept out, and you just tie it around. It's really simple. And then you just brush it down, make it look pretty, and then repeat the process like 5 billion times. It's a very long process. It's quite labor intensive. You have to have a lot of free time that you're willing to dedicate to making a tail. And a lot of people ask me what type of yarn I use. I love this yarn, and I don't remember what brand this one is, but it was in a 1 pound thing at Joann's, and that's the only one I found that turned out really soft. And I love this yarn. This one is really, really soft. It turns out really silky. This is the brand I would suggest using. It's cheaper than going to Joann's or Michael's. You buy it on the Hobby Lobby online, and it's like $4 a bundle, while this one was like $9 for one bundle. Bundles are a little bit bigger, of course, but it goes a long way. You don't need very much yarn. That's it. Good luck making your yarn tails. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you.